Okay, I'm gonna put the rats in their nice new clean cage, January 1st, 2021. Here goes Bean and Mochi and Zoey and Bibi and Nico. Let's put them in there. I would open it for us to look at them, but then they get on top of the cage. I'll watch them explore. So this is the first time that all 5 have been allowed free range of the entire cage in quite some time, since Zoey had a little incident with Mochi last time this happened. But we've been letting them together. It seems okay, and since the cage has been really deep clean, like scrubbed, and everything has been cleaned, we're hoping it's going to be okay. So I'm going to just set this up and see how they explore their new setup. And at the end, I'll probably pick up the tripod, or I guess it's a unipod, the stand, and give you a little bit of close-up, but I always like watching them explore, so I thought I'd share it. As they discover all their new fresh things, Bean's excited. I purposely put things where they don't like them, and so they have to move them back. Like all of their little goodies are up in the top right. Oh, Nico, get a treat. Might be boring at first as they just get food. Oh, Bibi in the fluff bucket. The fluff bucket was downstairs, so they're excited it's upstairs. That's just polyfill in there that we put it in the bucket. And an awful lot of it stays in the bucket because they keep nice and warm in there. But there's extra for them to move as they will. Well, I see everybody. Bean walking around. Bean is the big one that's snooting around the front right now with the white face. He is a neutered boy. The rest are all girls. We're all unspayed. It's a lot easier to neuter a rat than spay a rat. And you always, if you have mixed ones in the same cage, you gotta get somebody fixed or you will end up with more rats than, well, you. They're very good at it. Bibi. Oh, Nico go out, Bibi go in. See everybody with Zoey. Zoey's the boss of the cage, and she has the most anxiety and gets nervous of any of them, so she might be a little running around frantically checking on everything where we can't see her. Oh, Nico's found the pecan. So there's unshelled pecans at the top. There's their enrichment activity. Oh, she can take one in the fluff bucket. And nobody can bother her. Hello, Bean. I don't like this thing. Oh, there's Zoey. Zoey was in the top. Yeah. So Nico and Zoey are sisters. They're litter mates. And they are about, they're 1 or 2 months younger than Bean, so they're also about 1.5 years. And Bibi is the little black hoodie top-eared, and she's 3 months or so younger than them. So she's getting up on 1.5 years. She's about 1 year and 3, yeah, about 1 year and 3 months actually, because she was born in mid-July. We didn't get her from a breeder. We got her from a local pet shop that does very good, you know. A lot of the rats are sold for food, but they take really good care of them, so they're pretty healthy. You can always tell a good pet shop if the white mice are well taken care of, because those are pretty much just for food, and if the white mice look healthy, it's a pretty good pet shop. Oh, we found a Cheez-It. There's a little bear in there that was sent to us as the wrong size for a bed that we have turned into the snack cozy, and it's full of a bunch of little special treats. And Mochi is the youngest one. We only got Mochi in April. I'm filming them exploring their cage. Got Mochi in April. So she's the baby. God, she was born at about the start of a quarantine in the United States. So she's about 9 months old, believe it or not, Mochi. Yay, I've only known this life. She's a little Dumbo noodling around at the bottom. Here we go. Mochi, get food. Yeah, they're exploring it. They all get free range. Okay, well I'm actually gonna walk away and just keep one eyeball on them. Or one ear, I guess, to make sure there's no squeaking, and just leave this going for a little bit to show how they explore. It's a pretty good view. It's kind of hilarious to have this set up. I just have a pile of books and blankets on the couch. Make it tall enough. Hello, Bibi. I've explored. I want out again. Oh, Nico love her fluff bucket. Oh yeah, of course, this cage is a double critter nation, which they're kind of expensive. This entire thing is about $300, but it is the best rat cages on the market. And you can get half. You can get a half one too. But I really like the double set, and you can put a lot more rats in here and they'd be fine, but 5, they have a ridiculous amount of space. And yeah, it's more expensive than a lot of smaller cages you'll get at Petco or PetSmart, but it's so much easier to clean it because the door is just fully open, and this is actually designed for little small animals, and a rat cannot get out of this cage if it is properly assembled. A lot of the other cages that have plastic bottoms, if a rat really wants to get out, it can eventually get out. They can eventually chew through everything but metal. It might take a while, but they can do it, and if you have a more nervous one, they can go really quick. You'd be surprised. My sister rescued some little feral rats and took them, and they tamed down just fine, but she had to get them metal bottom cages because one would just chew out from any plastic bottom cage in just 3 days. Hello, Bean. Okay, I'm gonna let him go. speaking. Where's Mochi? Oh, Mochi Zoey. We being good? Oh, it's Mochi and Nico. Well, that's fine. You can scrub. I'll check on you if you scream more. We have one minor Nico Mochi scuffle, but we've done pretty good overall. Look how much the fluff bucket has emerged. You won't get on camera if you just walk this way. You gotta go in front of the rat cage.
So we still filming.
So you can see what the capture radius is. Do you like my stupid setup?
It's good.
Zoey drinking? Zoey drinking! movie star, Nico? I always knew I would be one. Jump, run, jump. Mochi. Mochi. Huh? Well, Mike is going pretty good so far.
Good.
The only minor dust up was just Nico and Mochi and me. When Mochi was much smaller, we had an incident where Zoey actually bit her and caused some blood. So we have been very, very slowly. Oh no! Oh no! You can't really see what's happening, but we see. Oh, Bean's got a cheese it. There we go. We'll angle this up a little bit more. Throw it on the top. This is like the one video where it makes sense that it's vertical. It's a vertical cage. In you go, Bean. Oh, you little bean head. Bean's so cute and happy. You happy, baby? You like your girls? Normally introducing female rats is pretty chill, but Zoey is definitely the boss of the cage, and Mochi is submissive, but I don't know, it was very surprising that there was an incident like that, because they accepted Bibi just fine, but you always gotta be careful. I gave them lots of treats in there. Hello, Bean. Hello, Big Beanie. Bean's a little heavier than he should be, but as you can tell how skinny the girls are. Nico's very skinny, so it's hard to regulate the weight of animals in the same cage when they have very different metabolisms, because Bean is a neutered boy, so his metabolism is slower, but boys tend to get pretty chonky even if they're not neutered. In wild little rat mischiefs and rat colonies, the females are typically the ones that kind of can run everything, and the boys' job is just to be big and defend them from other competitors, including other rats sometimes, but mostly just like chase away predators or that are about their size or anything like that. So boys are much bigger and get chunky. Rats will actually have, in the wild, they can have colonies that are multiple males and a bunch of females, and they get along pretty fine. They're very social. Rats love rats and people, and that's about it. They are mesopredators, which means they are both predators and prey, depending though. They're not going to be friends with rats. They're not going to be friends with mice or hamsters or guinea pigs or anything like that. In fact, they will hunt and eat hamsters and mice. So one thing pet shops do that is not very good, but most people don't know, is you really shouldn't keep mice in the same room as rats, because that puts the mice on edge, because the rats are a major predator of mice. So, yeah, but people don't know because they just, rats just look like big mice. We have cats too, and people ask, like, oh, how do you have the cats with the rats? And, like, that's honestly not an issue, because cats are predators of mice more than they're predators of rats. Not that some cats don't take rats, but not as a rule. The big predators of rats are actually ferrets and minks, like in the relatives and the stellids, and dogs. I mean, there's a reason they bred rat terriers, so I would be much learier of or small dog around pet rats than I would a cat and ferrets. I would never have ferrets and rats at the same time. I just think that would be, you can do it, no shade on anybody who does it, just I would be nervous all the time. Like we had, when I was younger, we had a dwarf hamster that we didn't mean to get, but my mom did animal rescues. You just get animals appearing in the ether around you continuously, and somebody like abandoned this little tiny hamster, so we just took it. And we fucked up, and we put the hamster cage too near the rat cage, and they actually pulled the hamster through the bars and tried to kill it. And it got away, but little gross. It had been disemboweled, and its little guts were hanging out, so we took it to the vet to be like, oh, we're so sad. You have to put our hamster down. But they fixed it because the bowel wasn't perforated. Oh, squeaking. If it gets worse, I'm going to go over there. So you just don't. I wouldn't keep rats with any other rodents in the same room, and probably not in the same house. And of course, you can do it, and lots of people do. I just like to not have to worry. But that little dwarf hamster lived. He lived for, died a really, really old little hamster. That did an amazing job. Here goes Bean. The fluff bucket has exploded. We don't have any bedding for them. We just use the fleeces, and we swap out the fleeces. Sometimes I swap them out before I do a full cage cleaning, but they're honestly pretty good about the thing in the upper right behind the rainbow unicorn blanket is a little plastic just thing, and they tend to go potty in there. And at first I put bedding in there to really encourage them to go potty, but they tended to kick the bedding out, and it was pain to clean up, so I just stopped. And they tend to go put their poopies and they pee in there, and they're pretty clean. And so yeah, they make a toity. They like that. I mean, that's just one thing they would do in the wild, is they will have a part of the burrow that is for the bathroom, because that way you're not easy to find some predators. And yeah, they tend to if they don't have bedding all throughout the cage, they tend to just pick a spot to go to the bathroom rather than going potty everywhere. You can see Zoey is getting the good treats out of that red food bowl and storing them up top. That's why she's going back and forth. They will make little store huts, and every time I clean the cage, they get really upset because their storage all goes away. And we're gonna get another thing. We're gonna select the best thing. And we're gonna get the thing. Oh, we got a few things. And we carry them back up. We run. And we put them in there. And Mochi's like, what are you doing? I go look at you. The good thing about fleeces is make sure you get absorbent fleeces, because occasionally I get a pattern that's really cute and soft, and then it turns out it just beads the pee on it when they pee on it, and that's not very good. The cage smells really quick then, so they gotta be replaced. So absorbent fleeces that you just toss in and out every now and then. But if you have boy rats, you gotta change it more often. Unneutered boys, they smell more, but neutered boys and girls don't really smell that quickly. Yeah, we used to have a cage that was like 5 unneutered boys, and that had to be cleaned more often than once a week. In this cage that will have the 4 girls and the 1 neutered boy. Honestly, like, if I spot clean it, I only have to really clean it not even every 2 weeks. But your mileage may vary. Ramfax. I have no idea if this is even intelligible sound or not. Okay, do one more interesting thing and then I'm gonna turn off. We're never gonna be interesting again. The bottom thing's wiggling. Oh, there's Zoey. And there's Nico. What are we gonna do? What behavior are we gonna do now? Behaving. Okay, well, I'm gonna pick this up. I'm gonna show my whole little. Okay, you can see my little setup I had on the couch. See, there we go. Be high enough. There we go. There's their little cage. Yay. And there's their cover. We cover them up at night, and they got a heavy one because it's the winter. Okay, hopefully that turned out.